And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're looking at a game called Mirror Mirror on the Wall. Who's the fairest one of all? Why, it's me. In our house, that's the truth, right? Okay, well anyhow, Mirror Mirror is a two-player abstract strategy game, which has mirrors in, which sounds really cool. Not as cool as you might think, but, well, anyway, let's take a look at this game. As you can see, the board is pretty small. My hand covers almost most of it. Now, what we want to do is we want to look at the pieces for this game. Each of these pieces comes on a triangle with a mirror on the back, and you're going to take the playing pieces and they slide down like this, which is pretty sturdy. They do not come out, and you're going to have four different ladies. Okay, they're the ones with the curved top. Then you have three knights. They have the castle top. And you have two masters with a crown top. And it shows you right here on the board how you're going to set them up. And you can see the blue is already set up. But before I set them up, I am going to secretly take some letters. I have... Alright. Well, we're looking at you. But anyway, we're looking right now at these secret letters. And we have 4 yellow letters, we have 4 blue letters, and we have 1 red letter. Now the red letter is the actual letter to the princess. See, all of them are addressed to the princess. And what you're going to do for each of these letters is you're going to slide it down into like that. So you can see which letter each person has, because you're going to place these here. You can see which letter each person has, and 8 of the letters are yellow and blue, and they're kind of worthless, and 1 is a red. So you're going to place your people all over the board. Once you have your people all over the board, the game is going to begin. One person takes a turn, the other person takes another turn, etc. Now, the way a turn works is you move one of your pieces. Each of the 3 types of pieces moves differently. The master is the easiest one to understand. He simply can move 1 space in any direction, exactly the same as a king in chess. The knights are also pretty easy to understand because, well, they move like a knight in chess, 2 and 1. Or 1 and 1 diagonally, however you want to remember it. That's how a knight moves. The ladies, they move like checker pieces. They can only move if they jump, although they can jump multiple times. If this lady was here, she could jump like this. Now, after you move a piece, you're going to be able to hopefully find out some information about your opponent. Here I've managed to move Dorothy behind Charles. Now you can see just barely, and you're allowed to move your head to get a good angle, you can see that Charles' letter is yellow. If it was, and the thing is, as if I'm looking at Charles, Charles is going to be able to look and say, hey, Dorothy's is blue. You both know each other's piece at the same time. Now that's a critical thing because at any point in time, you're allowed to land on another piece. If you land on another piece, you have to say what color letter it is. If you're correct, that piece is dead. So I jump on this one, I say blue. And they're like, how'd you know? Well, because I've seen it earlier. Blue is dead. If I was incorrect, the piece that's killing dies. And so you keep going till you kill all the pieces. But that doesn't matter. If you kill the person with the red letter, then you win. And that's essentially the game. Figure out which of the opponent's characters has the red letter, and then move your pieces so that you can move onto them or jump onto them and kill them or capture them or whatever you want to say. At that point, you've won the game. Well, there you go. I'll let Melody go first. What did you think of this game?
It was a good game. I thought it was pretty cool how each piece kind of had something to do a little bit with chess or checkers.
Right.
And I really liked how trying to find each other's mail thing or envelope or
the letter, right? Yeah.
Letter. I wasn't so good at it, but it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not as convinced as her. The part where you put the mirror behind the other person to see their letter, that's interesting, except that when you do it, they also see yours. It would be neat if there was a way to see theirs without them seeing yours. Some clever maneuvering. So whenever you got to that position, you had to get there either knowing that someone could get you or just trying to maneuver away so someone can't get you. So that's all part of the strategy. But here's another thing. You can jump on somebody and you have just slightly under 50% chance of getting it correct. Because there's 4 yellows, 4 blues, and 1 red. So 4 out of the 9 are yellow and 4 out of the 9 are blue. So you can land on someone and just guess. And there are many times I would do that because, hey, if I was wrong, so what? But if I was right, I had a chance of getting closer and farther ahead. You kill an opponent's piece, and there's nothing they can do about it. So I think that's a neat aspect, but in practice wasn't so, I don't know. The part I liked the best about the game was putting who you put the red letter on, and then what do you do with that red letter? Do you run them up in the enemy lines? Like, oh, you know, so they're trying to kill other people. Do you put it on the lady? The 3 different pieces, the way they worked, it was interesting. It's just that the game, I was expecting something cooler with mirrors, and this one just didn't cut it for me. It wasn't that it was a bad game, it was just kind of a ho-hum game, and I was expecting something cooler. What about you?
It was a good game.
All right,
And
well,
like
she
my
likes it
dad-
better than I do.
Yeah, and like my dad, I was also kind of expecting something better, but it was still fun.
Yeah, I mean, like with Ket, you know, you're shooting lasers around, bouncing off mirrors. That was neat. When I saw that you used the mirrors to figure out your opponent's piece, I thought, oh, this is cool, but in reality, you just got to land behind the other person. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard in the game, but it is what it is.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.